Hello everyone, and welcome back to Let's Play Caveman to Cosmos with me, Mecca and Byzantium. So the year is 49,095 BC, turned 1258, and Constantinople is growing as it usually is. We are 1 turn away from games and 23 turns away? Yeah, 23 turns away from the next population level, which I'm hoping is going to be 1,000 people. Now, you can see that we're still building the Muflon camp, and we still have the smokehouse and seamstress to build. Why is that? Well, the reason is that when I posted the video yesterday, you guys were a bit more belligerent than I expected. Now, you pretty much all of your comments were about destroying Arabia and stealing their women. So I decided that, yeah, okay, I'm gonna oblige you and we are going to attack Arabia. So what I have been doing for the past couple of turns was preparing this invasion army here. We got 8 units of spearmen here that are going to go into the territory of Arabia, surround the city, attack it, and destroy it. Hopefully, we are going to destroy only the units and not the city, but the game has a funny mechanic regarding this. So this is going to be my first siege of a city in the game. So we're gonna see how it's gonna work. I know that we're gonna deal with a really lot of unrest eventually, and I'm not even sure how it's gonna work under the current anarchy civic, because usually what I did was I waited at least to achieve them before we started expanding beyond the first city. But hey, you guys wanted it and I'm going to give it to you. So games will come in the next turn, so I think we can look into that. But before we do, I wanted to show you what kind of defenses the Mecca city has. They have a tribal guardian there who is fortified. Yeah, that's a basic unit. They have a single stone thrower there and 2 units of slingers. So I'm hoping that we're going to be able to breach it. I just built the spearmen who have a strength of 3. So I guess we should be able to defeat them. We got 2 times more units than they do, and all of our units are stronger than theirs are. So let's see the games, and then we'll see what we can do next.
Yesterday's home runs don't win today's games.
Okay, so games give us a couple of buildings. They give us the Capture the Flag building, which gives 2 extra experience points to criminals and 1 extra experience point to hunters. But it requires playing field or athletics field. Okay, so we don't have that. Hopscotch gives us 1 extra happiness and 1 extra culture, plus 1 point in education every turn. Good. Hot potato, 1 extra happiness and 1 extra culture, requires potatoes. Okay. Juggling gives us 1 extra happiness and 1 extra culture. Absolute culture and cultural evolution. Jump rope, plus 1 happiness and 1 extra health. That's a nice touch. Requires a rope. And playing fields. Okay, so that's the thing. Yeah, the Capture the Flag needs that. So playing field gives us extra happiness and is probably a prerequisite for a number of buildings. But it doesn't tell you what. But it gets replaced by athletics field eventually. So that is pretty good. It requires athletics, which will give us Olympic Games and public pool. Cool. So let's see what we can do here next. So we have access to hopscotch, to juggling. Nice touch with that little juggler from Pharaoh. Jump rope and playing field. Okay, so I guess it would be pretty good to do it like this, then the playing field, and then we can do the Capture the Flag. Okay, so as I mentioned, our army consists of 8 spearmen. They are going to move into the territory. I'm going to spread them around the city and then attack the city until everyone in there is dead. We also brought 2 extra units here. We have the Eagle Talkers and the Berry Eaters, who are going to help us provide the surround bonus against the city. And yeah, that's all there is to it. So I guess I'll be back in 42 turns. Wish me luck with the siege, wish me luck with the aftermath. We're going to see how things are going to be when I come back. This is going to be a long fight. The year is 47,500 BC, turn 1299, and as you can see, we have two cities now. We have Constantinople and we have the city of Petra, which was originally the city of Mecca. Now the fight was exactly as boring as I expected it to be. We just surrounded the city and yeah, we won it. I was even left with 4 extra spearmen, which was, you know, uncharacteristically lucky. But what I did was I even managed to get rid of the unrest there. That took 33 turns, but considering they had only 50 people left after our conquest, it was dispatched off pretty rapidly. So you can see here that a number of things have been left both in the buildings and the conceptual ones. So let's go through it. We actually already rebuilt the Alpha Male. That one was destroyed during the conquest of the city. There is a number of buildings that you know here. The dining hall wasn't raised. I was kind of surprised by that. They still have a childcare hut. They got a lot of folklore buildings here, which I am kind of surprised by. They have the grasshopper catcher. They got both the bamboo and rattan grove, which is something that I wasn't expecting. But I think I already noticed that before, because I was like, oh yeah, really, they have that. I think I checked the city once or twice during the playthrough. They got the reed gatherer, the rock gatherer, the smoke signals. They, of course, got the stone tool maker. For some reason, that one wasn't raised, even though, you know, that is amazing. I'm not gonna lie, because the science income now is 15.53 from this city alone, so that is pretty good. They got the story tower, termite catcher, torches, trails, wine gatherer, and wild herbs gatherer. So quite a lot of buildings were preserved. Conceptually, they're living in bark huts and tree hollows, so they're a bit behind of the other city. They have the ants and flies pest, but they're, I think, not active. Yeah, because we don't have the exact population, and there is some crime and some disease. Now this comes from the fact that we actually had a pretty high crime. I built 2 watchers in Constantinople and sent them escorted by the unit. Is it here, or did I send it back? Or no. It's doing another round. The Eagle Talkers actually escorted the watchers from Constantinople into Petra, or Patra. Actually, I should call it Patra. It's the smallest city that was marked on the list of Byzantine cities that I googled. So I'm hoping that the game is not going to use this name for another city that we're gonna get. So we escorted the watchman here, and as you can see, the crime is dropping pretty rapidly, which is good. Disease will need to battle, but right now I'm focusing on buildings that provide production. So you can see we have grass gatherer, lichen gatherer, lumber gatherer, stick gatherer, animal snap traps, and drying frame here scheduled. And we are going to build, I guess then, well, money production would be pretty good, but I think we might just go with food production next, because the growth here is abysmal. We are looking at 533 turns before we get to the next second level that they already had. What I found peculiar, though, is that the city switched to 100% Byzantine. That it wasn't like that in the beginning. When I conquered the city on the first turn, it had 1% Byzantine and 99% Arabic, and then it switched to 100% Byzantine. So we pretty much shouldn't be afraid of any revolts here, because we have the city under control. Now the unrest was taking roughly 23 turns, if I recall correctly, so there was just nothing going on. I just ended the turns here and was done with it. So that is pretty good. So our first conquest have went well, I guess. No hard feelings. Unfortunately, the culture border have collapsed completely, as you can see. So we'll need to advance that. See, that might be an actually good thing to first build the culture buildings. It occurred to me, there's a lot of them. So yeah, we'll need the community discussion, knowledge inheritance and stuff like that to increase the education and science here. Yeah, they have a couple of things. Elder Council and others that we'll need to get. Boosting education will be pretty important for us because the more cities you have, the higher the cost of the technologies are. So basically for some time now we're gonna have a malus because the city is not gonna provide us enough to make up for the fact. Actually no, if we're producing 30 here and the other city is producing 15, I think we're right about even. I don't know how the calculation works exactly. I actually wanted to mention one thing that I forgot in the first part. In between episodes, I used the hawk. Actually, that's the eagle. Or was it the hawk? Well, one of these actually was able to build us a myth of the animal. Someone pointed it rightfully in the comments of the previous video. I don't know how I missed that. It was kind of weird. And here you can see the procession of animals that are coming to the city, where they are going to build whatever it is that they can build. You can see that there's a number of things like a military standard and stuff that they can do there, so I'm sending them there. And I actually sent the Neanderthal tracker here, which is a new unit, to scout the area, and we found out a gatherer here, which is kind of nice. So we captured them and we're bringing them back to Patra. Now, as far as construction goes in around Patra, we got a gatherer that we captured in the city, and it is building a trail here, escorted by our wood spearman number 3. And they are going to build the trails all the way to Constantinople. Now this also dramatically changes my plans for the future, because before we talked that we will have a city here, and that actually not here, on the hill I think here, but that plan is actually moot now, because what we'll need to do is connect the city of Patra with the city of Constantinople in one big civilization. So I already checked that the ideal place for the next city would be here. That will give us an access to the elephants here. Is it elephants? Elephants, yeah. To Guavas and to Indigo, and it's gonna be our first coastal city too. While unfortunately, it's not going to give us an access to the apple, but it's within our territory already, so we can take that later on, maybe with a city here that could take the prime timber and the resin. The next city is going to be built, I guess, either here or here, but I think here is going to be a better place. It's not going to give us much, but it will connect us with the Patra, and we'll be able to move units within our territory, which is extremely important for more than one reason. The main reason why it is important, though, is that our unit of berry eaters was eaten by a cave lion about 10 turns ago in this area. And unfortunately, the unit of bears was also killed in this area by a marauding Neanderthal spearman, so that really sucks. But on the other hand, we get another city, so what would you think of that, other than that is a big success? As you can see on the score, we are also doing pretty good. So petroglyphs are coming next. This is going to be a huge amount of manual work connecting the city, developing it. So I'm going to focus mostly on Constantinople in the upcoming updates. And I'm going to focus a bit less on Patra, but I'll just have to keep mentioning what we're doing there because, well, right now, as you can see, we have a ton of production enhancing buildings. So that is the first thing that we're focusing on. Once we're done with that, we might talk a bit about the next thing. In Constantinople, you can see we also have 2 watches now, which are taking down the crime a bit. It's stabilized at 145. So I'm thinking we might build another one. Each one of these lowers the crime by 2, which is not much, but it's better than nothing. At least it's not growing. After hopscotch, we're going to be building juggling, jump rope, and playing fields. And we also have the access to laundry hut and quota maker now because we got the seamstress. Actually, considering what you guys are giving me, yeah, I think we're gonna switch this into quota maker first. That's gonna give us quite a lot of income and culture. And then we're gonna go with laundry hut. And then we can go with juggler, playing field, and jump rope. So we get a ton of things to build. So petroglyphs is the first technology that we're getting after we got what was it that we wanted? Tracking. Okay, so petroglyphs, they will be to conduct. These are actually the 2 technologies that I shadowed by hand. I'm not really interested in petroglyphs, and it's okay for now because we have a lot to do, but conduct is what I want to do. This is gonna throw quite a lot of us in regards, yeah, crime fighting will appear definitely. Mugging were far away, but the Watcher should increase to Enforcer. Yeah, you can see that these guys, as an upgrade to Watcher, lower crime by 4. So, pretty good there. Policing. Ah, okay. So this is what I would like to get for all of my units. Dang, the Watchers actually don't have that. That sucks. That sucks because it wasn't available. So instead I put them on the investigation, which should help with seeing spies and stuff like that. And we're probably gonna get executioner, public stoning. Well, we can take the malices and the sentry post because we really need to get crime under control. So let's see the petroglyphs here. Oh, actually I shouldn't have turned and did the turn. Oh well, never mind. Okay, most advanced civilization. Okay, so we are the most advanced civilization in the world at this point. Good for us.
The venerable woods, rivers that move in majesty, and the complaining brooks that make the meadows green, and poured round all, old ocean's grey and melancholy waste, are but the solemn decorations all of the great tomb of man.
So Neanderthal caves now give us extra culture. And there is cave paintings, okay. Those are pretty good. What do they require? Clay pit or chalk? I think we got the clay pit. Sand paintings and caves. So let's check it out if that gives us something new. It does actually. And this one increases education. So I think we might want to... nope, let's put you behind. Laundry hut lowers disease. So laundry hut will go next. Then juggling, playing fields, jump rope. Okay, let's go like this. So quite a lot to build here. Quite a lot to build in Patra. I'm really interested in how long it's going to take us to build the trails. It's really bad that we lost all of the neighboring tiles. I didn't pillage them or anything. They were destroyed automatically after the conquest of the city, so I was just left with the aftermath, but oh well. Well, trackers, you be on your way. I'll be back in 31 turns with the result of conduct. So, wish me luck. And hopefully these gatherers can help, because you guys are gonna get the culture increase in 8 turns. So hopefully we can get an extra tile. There's a ton of things here that we might want. The best thing is that they got the silver ore directly in the city, but we are still losing money now, which is really bad. So I have to probably divert some of the research into that unless we have really good results. But getting the deer, or what is this, donkey, or maybe the horse, that would be probably better. If we could get horses, that would boost the production in here pretty good. And we could take advantage of that. Okay, so anyway, see you in the next update. turn 1330, year 36,293 BC. We are making strides in developing our cities. Now, one thing that I completely missed in the previous update was that Constantinople is now size 5. Unfortunately, not 1,000 people, but 750. I don't know the math behind this. It seems a bit random. So my guess next will be... No, it's going to be either 1,000 or 1,500. So I'm going to say 1,500. Let's see. But it's going to take us quite some time to get there, 191 turns. So you can see that we finished some of the buildings that we had scheduled, mostly seamstress and coat maker and stuff like that, which should boost our gold production. It did, but we are getting into deeper and deeper depth. More on that in a couple of seconds. But right now we're working on cave paintings to increase our culture and laundry hut, which is going to lower the disease, which is not high, 11 is pretty cool. Juggling, playing fields, and jump rope. Now, we can't get any other buildings here, but I actually realized that I can show you the buildings that we cannot get, so that you can see what is awaiting us eventually if we get access to the right ingredients. So, Neanderthal caves, we know that we cannot get because it requires Neanderthal culture. Flint gatherer would be pretty good if we had flint nearby. Cave paintings, monument is really nice, but that requires marble, obsidian, or stone. So I think once we get access to stone in the other city and connect it via trails with Constantinople, we might be able to build the monument. That would be pretty good. Stoneworker would also be awesome. That one is going to be a big building for Patra. Hakadan Squirn. Still don't understand why we can get the required stone. Ah, okay. So there's my answer. Tower stone, again, requires stone. That is... Wow, we need a lot of stone for these things. Vision quest, walkabout, those are culture-dependent buildings. Die maker. Capture the flag, we're gonna get that one. Furrier. Okay, that would be good. Hot potato, requires potatoes. Juggling, jump rope, laundry hut. Some of these we are building, so it should be fun. So we get pretty much access to most of the buildings, but some very valuable, like the Tower stone and the quern, are, forbidden for us for this moment. So that's sad. As far as Patra goes, we finished almost all of the buildings that boost production or industrial production. You can see we're at 28. Which, considering that we have 38 in Constantinople, is amazing with this amount of population. So Patra is really going to be a powerhouse for us eventually. And once we're done with this, we are going to start chugging in buildings that give us gold. Now, not food, but gold. And that is due to the fact that we are really bleeding on money. We're okay for, what, 40 turns? Roughly? Yeah, roughly 40 turns. But we really need to get a bit more gold production, because once we get to a negative, it's gonna hurt us really hard. So if we lowered, research here to 45%, it would, make it so that we are at a even level. But I don't want to do that. Instead, let's try to boost our gold production and be done with it. Now, I like the fact that you can filter out buildings that give you both gold and food. So those are going to be the ones that I'm going to start with. The smokehouse, the hunter camp, and slaughterhouse. And later on, we're going to build the woodwind instrument maker, basket maker, and the percussion instrument maker. You still need quite a lot. Now, I'm kind of surprised that the game has decided to utilize the donkey here instead of the horses, but, then I realized that the donkey is actually giving us a bit more benefit. So you can see that I finished the trails all the way to the rice field, and then I moved my two gatherers back here where they are currently building scavenging camp. One of them is going to be consumed, the rest is going to be accompanied by the spearmen, and will march here where they are going to continue building trails. Now, I actually invested a bit, and that might have been the mistake that will cause us research in the future, but I built a spearmen and two gatherers here, and they're also working on the trails, so we're gonna hope that we can connect the cities faster this way. Afterwards, these guys are going to go to Patra and probably get us some deer camps and hopefully maybe even the stone. I don't know, 29 turns till we get the stone pot, so I think that should be fine. Hopefully we're gonna get the stone pot. I don't know how the game is gonna spread the culture there, but the stone pot should be ours. Now I'm a bit afraid of the Iroquois here, because they're mad at us that we declared war on their friend, but I don't think they'll challenge us, not anytime soon, hopefully. And later on I hope they won't do it either, because I believe they got copper. Wait, game, why are you not showing me? Ah, never mind. Let's see conduct. Oh, what happened?
Capital punishment is as fundamentally wrong as a cure for crime, as charity is wrong as a cure for poverty.
Okay, so that unfortunate sound was our Neanderthal tracker being eaten by a predatory lone cave lion. This is quite upsetting because we are hemorrhaging trackers pretty much. They are being eaten like an all-you-can-eat buffet out there. So, conduct gives us what we already knew is enforcers. That is awesome because that's gonna delete the crime pretty much. Buildings like executioner and public stoning requires rock gatherer or ancient customs, and we have the rock gatherer, so stoning will also remove crime, and then the sentry post, which further removes crime and gives you extra spying. So I think I'm going to start with sentry post, and then we're going to see if we, well, no, all of these increase spying, so, you know, we can take the malices of 2 unhappiness. That is not a big issue, but we're also getting crime, lying, and mugging. Hopefully we'll never get to mugging, because that one, -5 gold, is just, And we're getting crackdown, policing, okay, that's a good one, and inspections too. Okay, that's a good trait there. So where were the unfortunate guys that were eaten by the cave lion? Oh, down here. At least it wasn't someone valuable. Now, I also had to replace some of the slingers here by spearmen due to the fact that we had Neanderthal stone macemen running around here. So they killed 2 of our units before we managed to subdue them. So I've put an extra wood spearman here as an emergency reinforcement to the units around us, and an extra unit here to replace the slinger that has been hammered, pretty much. So, yeah, you have to get out of there. Like, if there is a cave lion lurking down here, you have no chance. Okay, let's send you down here. So, the goals for Patra we know. What about Constantinople? Anything here? Yeah, we can get quite out. Wait. So we can get sentry post, stoning, executioner. So sentry post would be good, but look at that insane maintenance of 1. Hey, actually we did something and then lowered our... Oh, that's because they ate the Neanderthal tracker. Okay, how are we going to approach this? Now, none of these are really that important. So instead, let's go with the sentry post next. We have quite a lot of happiness here, so I think we can go ahead and get the executioner as well. We'll stay off the public stoning for now, though, and then we're gonna get the juggling, jump rope. No, actually, laundry hat first, because we want to get rid of that unhealthiness. Jump rope, juggling, and then the playing fields. Okay, so we got things to do for 34... Oh, 34 and 44, so 78 turns. Portable shelters are going to come in 36, so we're just going to be piling those on. And Patra has what to do for 21 turns, and then we're just gonna start adding you guys. So Hunter's Camp is gonna come next, because that's gonna boost the production. Okay, so that's all for this episode. We've done quite a lot. We've conquered a new city. We have started to work to connect them, and we are well on our way to getting the technology of tribalism. 13 technologies and we'll be there. So right after we get that, we're going to found 2 new cities, though we'll have to prepare a gold for that, and tribal territory is going to be finished. We'll have 4 cities, and then when we get chiefdom, we can found 2 more. So as I mentioned, 1 city is going to be here, another one here, and if we get, or not if, but when we get the extra 2 cities, I'll build 1 here, and I'm tempted to, oh, you're not working, there is a, what? Okay, the resource is not working, but there is salt here, and salt is extremely valuable for your cities. So I'm considering we might put 1 city up here or somewhere around here, which would be a pretty defensible plot. Yeah, this would be a good plot. That would give us access to sheep, to almonds, to salt, some bamboo, and no, that's too far from the city. But yeah, this would be a good city. So we would have like a stretch of 4 cities here. We would have another city here, and then 1 city to protect us from the south. So all that we would need later on would be cities at the border with the Iroquois, because they'll probably expand this way into our territory. I know there was something really valuable down here. Oh, the fine clay. Yeah, you can have the clay. We'll have the rest. So anyway, thank you all for joining me, and I'll see you in the next episode of Let's Play Caveman to Cosmos with me, of Mecca and Byzantium.